What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Triple Cover Sports Podcast. I don't know what's going on with Luke up there in the top left, but
what is this fit? Can we get an explanation?
Yeah,
bro, no explanation needed, bro. Dress for success, baby.
What is this all about, bro?
No. I've realized that a lot of people just be shit talking the takes, be saying I don't know ball. So I decided to take this shit serious, bro. As you can tell, I'm taking this shit seriously, and you know what? I'm ready to prove the doubters wrong, and I'm just ready to, give this pod my all.
The comments are right, bro.
Okay.
I don't know if you can redeem yourself today.
Well, guess what? There's going to be a lot of predictions thrown out today, and, time will tell. Okay, time will tell.
Yeah. But getting started off here, we're going into the NFL. The NFL Combine just happened. Who are the most underrated and overrated draft prospects after the Combine?
Yeah, I think the most underrated player after the Combine coming up for this NFL draft, man, is a player that I saw ball out. I was watching him in his combine drills, and you know what I wrote next to his name? I said effing beast. That was the only notes I took after watching his performance, because he was just balling. In every single drill, he was quick. His hands were good. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I couldn't believe that, this guy wasn't even going to be a top 10 pick, because I think this guy's going to be a superstar in the NFL. And, the player that I was watching was none other than Oregon safety Tiananmen. That guy is a beast. I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to be a bona fide superstar.
That is definitely not how you say that name, bro. I think it's Thiemann.
Can we get a fact check? Can we get a fact check?
No, I don't think.
Check?
I mean, I didn't really watch the Combine, but I just know that.
Okay, so this is coming from a guy who didn't watch the Combine. No, let's get a fact check here. No, let's get a fact check here. All right. No, we want to play these, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
It's not Tiananmen.
No. Well, guess what? We're about to find out right now. Okay. I just got to listen to a video of somebody saying his name. Hold up.
Okay, Ryan, while Luke's kind of looking for that, what did you think? Were you not impressed with anyone in the Combine, or kind of seeing what you expected from someone not performing?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of what I expected. I didn't watch really any of the actual festivities. I just watched kind of the clips that came from it. I really liked what I saw from Ty Simpson. I thought Diego Pavia did what exactly he was going to do. He missed some throws.
Okay.
But he also made some good throws. But yeah, nothing really to note there on my end.
I believe it is Thiemann. Okay. I believe it's Thiemann. Okay.
So I was closer because you went with the TN.
So let's just say we're going to be 0 for 1 here so far on these takes. Everybody in the comments of that clip is going to be calling me a dipshit. Okay.
Bro, look at it, how you look too, bro.
Look me in my eyes, bro. Make fun of the fit one more time, bro. See what happens, bro.
Bro, where do you even get a hat like this?
Bro, I went to a professional Italy store, bro. Okay.
But, right, kind of building off what you said, I didn't watch much of the Combine either, saw some clips, but, someone that going into the Combine and going into the draft this year, I just wasn't really too high on, and kind of I saw some clips and he was missing throws, not looking great out there. A guy that just is not going to be great in the NFL, I believe, or really even, I don't know where he's going to get drafted. The team that drafts him, it's a big mistake, but I think Cade Klubnik really didn't look good out there.
Yeah.
I don't think he looked great all season at Clemson, and, I just don't really see anything coming out of this man as an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, no, I think his only chance is to maybe sit behind a veteran for a couple of years and maybe gain some experience, really hone in on his skills. But yeah, I didn't see much from him during the college season, and really not much in the Combine either. I like that pick a lot.
Yeah. I think Klubnik was a bit is going to be a bit overrated.
He was kind of properly rated though. He's not even like a top 4 talent in this draft at his position.
Speaking of top 4 talent, I got a guy that's a top 2 talent, and not a lot of people are talking about. He's a quarterback. He threw pretty well at the Combine. He missed one throw, but his other throws were absolute dimes. I was watching this guy, and I was impressed. I think he's going to be the most underrated quarterback coming into this draft. And I think he's just going to be a bona fide stud. And I think it's Diego Pavia, baby.
Dude, can we not do this?
I saw clips of him. He missed
not this again, bro.
Bro, if you said Drew Aller or Ty Simpson, you're right on track, but what do you see from Pavia that makes him an NFL talent?
Dude, Pavia looked horrible. I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
What I see from Pavia that is going to translate to the NFL is he's got a great deep ball. Deep ball. He showed it game after game at Vanderbilt. He's very sneaky on the legs for a guy who's 5'8", just barely above average height. He is very sneaky on the legs, bro. And he
yeah, but I have a question for you. I have a question.
He's gonna be an NFL
Obviously,
QB.
we saw a guy
5'8".
with great talent last year, Shedeur Sanders, fall really deep into the draft last year. Pavia probably has even more issues with his off the field ego and stuff like that. Do you think
this is a hot take here?
Yeah.
I think Diego Pavia is going to be drafted later in the draft than Shedeur Sanders was. Like I seriously
think that's
think
a
he's
hot
going to
take.
fall. Like I
his
am
character
fully behind
issues
that.
are a really big problem, and in NFL execs, GMs, they don't put up with that shit.
Well, you guys are going to look like a whole bunch of bozos when he goes pick number 7 overall to the Commanders.
What?
I was seeing some mock drafts this week that had him going 7 overall, bro. I saw a mock draft, bro.
Yeah, and they had Shedeur going first, bro.
That's just what people
you created that mock draft, dude.
No, that's just what people aren't going to talk about, bro.
All right, so let's talk about Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs, it's a very big concern that his ACL could be weak. Do you think this is a valid concern on the end of the NFL teams making this claim?
Yeah, obviously it's a valid concern if he has a weak ACL. We've seen so many ACL injuries this year. So if a guy's got a weak one, maybe it's not a good pick. But I think it is a little bit Jeb Bush of a stat. I'm going to tell you one thing right now. I think technology is progressing at too high of a rate, bro. Like we're at a point where a guy's future is going to be changed because of something that's out of his control that may or may not even affect him. So I feel bad for Caleb Downs. I don't think this should affect his draft stock. I mean, it's kind of an irrelevant stat, and it kind of stinks.
I don't think it's irrelevant. I think it's smart by the teams, though. I mean, you don't think it is?
No, it is relevant, but it's like, there's probably a lot of guys with weak ACLs that go on to be fine in their career, and a lot of guys with strong ACLs that tear it twice. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, can we really trust this data? I don't know. I'm not a big science guy myself.
I mean, I think it depends if you're playing on the turf at MetLife or not. I mean, some of these stadiums seem haunting on the ACLs and the Achilles, and I personally think it shouldn't affect his draft stock.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of agree with not affecting his draft stock, but I also know where the teams are coming from with these expensive physicals.
So you think the Giants should be out on Caleb Downs?
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And the Jets, but Aaron Glenn's probably sleeping.
Yeah, next up, another great prospect in this upcoming NFL draft that his combine has just destroyed. His overall stock is Ruben Bain. His new nickname is the T-Rex because he has tiny arms. He has some of the smallest arms.
Yeah, it's something like the shortest arms that an edge rusher projected to go in the first round has had since 1999. Finish your question, but that's insane.
Do you think that this should affect Ruben Bain's stock, or do you think teams within the top 10 should still use a pick on Ruben Bain?
I'm really hoping that it affects his stock so he falls to the Miami Dolphins. I don't think this is a huge concern.
Well, he's not getting past the Bengals, so.
There's a lot of mock drafts that say he's coming down to the 305 and playing for great coach Jeff Hafley. And obviously he was a beast in college. It didn't really show up on the field until they measured his arms at the combine.
Hey, nobody want to play for Jeff Hafley, bro.
I agree. No, ain't nobody want to play for Jeff Hafley, bro. Maybe
I'll keep my receipts on y'all.
Maybe if it's like a Pop Warner squad.
This guy's a leader of men, and I know you like this one.
This guy's maybe a leader.
I mean, maybe for a
high
school team. Maybe for your 13U Pop Warner team, man.
Yeah. Anyway, continue about Hifloffer.
No, I mean, that's all I have. I think Ruben Bain's a great talent. Obviously, he showed it in college, and I thought he looked really good at the combine besides his measurables. So I think he's going to be the best edge rusher in this draft, regardless of his
I think that's kind of crazy. Did teams not know he had short arms before? Why is this such breaking news, bro?
Yeah, he must have been hiding them pretty well. Also,
But going in here
yeah.
next, I want to talk about someone who had a generational combine performance, and that is Sony Styles. What do you guys think about his combine performance, and will he be an elite running back in the National Football League?
Yes.
He's a
Hey, shit, yo.
linebacker. He's a linebacker.
Yeah, he's. Did I put running back? Yeah, no, I put linebacker.
My bad.
You know,
Can we cut that? Can we cut that?
No, we're keeping that.
No, we're keeping that.
No, bro. This is diabolical. But okay, let's continue here. Then.
Yeah, Luke.
Yo, bro, this fucking cat, bro. Anyway,
really
Sonny Styles going into the draft. A lot of people, I didn't have him on my radar, that's for sure. After the combine, he's on everybody's radar. He is now a projected possible top 10 pick in this draft. He had a generational combine. He was a bit slow on his 40. I actually think he might have had the slowest 40 among linebackers, but everything else was generational. He's flying off people's boards now. And I think it's valid hype. I went back and watched some of his tape, and I liked what I saw, not only in the combine, but I liked what I saw on tape. I think he flies around. I think he's going to be, an absolute problem when he enters the league. And so I think he should be a top 10 overall pick. And if he falls to my Cincinnati Bengals, I would love if the Bengals took him. What do you guys think?
I don't know much about Sonny Styles, to be honest with you. I'm going to take your word for it. And if it's the right pick for the Bengals, they will probably not make that pick. So yeah,
that's
all I have
to
say. Yeah,
it probably is a good take. So that's about it for the combine.
My goodness.
The draft is coming up, but the draft isn't till April. So we got plenty of time to maybe drop a triple coverage official mock draft coming soon.
Yeah.
And we also next week is going to be a very big week for a lot of prospects moving around. The free agency opens up on Wednesday, so the next pod is going to be a movie. Anyway, next up for the NFL, big news here. Trey Hendrickson was not franchise tagged. The Bengals officially free him. He hasn't wanted to be with the Bengals for a while. Now they finally let him leave. Does this show how poverty the Bengals front office is? That last year when they could have traded him, maybe gotten like a 3rd round pick, but they wouldn't take anything less than a 1st rounder. Now they let him walk for free and they don't get anything. Does this show just how poverty the Bengals front office is?
I mean, I've been saying it all along. The Bengals front office is just absolutely disastrous. Just never making the right decisions, whether it's the draft, offseason acquisitions, free agents. I mean, you name it, the Bengals are going to screw it up. I mean, there's a reason for why this franchise is being held back, despite having an elite quarterback in Joe Burrow. And, I just think that this is another decision that highlights, the dysfunction they have in the front office there in Cincinnati. And I mean, just like you said, they could have got some good value for Trey Hendrickson last year, and they hold on to him too long, and now they're letting him go. And this is just not surprising at all for Cincinnati, and they probably won't be making the playoffs again next season.
Whoa, okay. No, I'm with you. The Bengals front office is not good, but you've gone too far when you say they're not making the playoffs. I'm going to tell you one thing right now. We're going to rebuild our defense. I'm going to tell you another thing right now. We have the best quarterback maybe in NFL history, and I'm going to tell you
wait, before you say anything more, I mean, I think the over/under for Joe Burrow games played next season is like 5.5.
Why do
Ryan, like is that crazy to say? Like
I think the line is more around like 9.5, but that's still not where it should be. Obviously, given his history with staying available.
You guys clearly don't know ball, because after the Bengals, switched around some of their offensive linemen, but by the end of the season last year, the Bengals offensive line ranked 7th in pass blocking grade. And guess what? They have every single lineman that was starting last year in that 7th overall grade. They have them all back and re-signed. So I'm going to tell you one thing right now. Joe Burrow, at the end of the season last year, he was getting sacked the least amount of times in his career. He was playing great. We have that same offensive line coming back. So Joe Burrow's going to have the best offensive line he's ever played behind in his career. And we're going to continue to, as my friend once said, ball without y'all. Okay? So we finna ball.
I mean, even if he's healthy, bro, like in this O-line solid, like what is this defense going to be ranked? Like, I'd be surprised if they're top 25 at this stage.
Well, be surprised no longer, because next Wednesday when the free agency
What did the offensive
window
line
opens,
have to do with his turf toe?
Yeah, exactly.
That could easily come back regardless of how the offensive
dude,
line
his
is.
his turf toe is not coming back, bro. It's not coming back. You want to know why? Because before he got the turf toe, he was playing with some of the worst protective cleats in the NFL. After he's got steel, I'm being serious. Now he has steel-toed cleats. It's literally impossible for him to get turf toe anymore, bro. And that's from a guy who knows ball, bro. I know everything about Joe Burrow.
Okay, I mean, I think that's enough on the Bengals here, but
Yeah, plenty.
going into the next subject here, David Montgomery was traded to the Texans. Was this a good trade, and why do the Texans have so many running backs?
That's a good question. They have Joe Mixon, who's going to be coming off IR, and they make a trade for another guy, Montgomery. I think Montgomery still has a lot of juice in him. I think he could still be a starting caliber running back in this league. I don't really know. It doesn't make too much sense for the Texans. I mean, they get a great player, but
I mean, they also gave up a fourth in this trade.
Yeah,
as well,
they did
which
a fourth round pick. Yeah,
I think it's a good trade for the Lions.
Yeah, I think it is too. I think they could have used.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're the Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs is playing at such a high level. He's going to take a large percentage of the snaps anyway. You just kind of got to get a young running back in there that kind of develop behind Jahmyr Gibbs, kind of learn from him. And Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 running back in the league.
Yeah, 100%.
Obviously, you got to respect what Demo did in Detroit. He was absolutely electric. Jahmyr's rookie season actually took a brunt of the workload there and scored a bunch of touchdowns. A little sad that Knuckles and Sonic are getting broken up in Detroit. That was a great run for them.
Cringe nickname.
But yeah, anyway. Special run for Demo in Detroit.
Yeah, let's continue with more NFL free agency news. Kyler Murray is officially being released from the Cardinals. Do you guys think Kyler Murray could still be a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL, or should he just retire and go back and go play some MLB ball?
I mean, I don't know what you're saying about the MLB, but I still believe that Kyler Murray is a starting caliber quarterback in this league. I mean, I think he's one of the most misunderstood quarterbacks in the league, which is what I've said in the past on this pod. And, I'm not going to say anything crazy here like he's top 10 or whatever, but I think he's still an above average quarterback. I'd put him in my top 15 for sure. I think if Kyler can find a place where he can excel, get comfortable with the offense, start. I mean, he was playing. He was the rookie of the year. He was playing at a high level for many seasons with Arizona. I mean, I think that Kyler Murray, if you give him another opportunity, he's going to be able to prove why he is still going to be a problem in the NFL. And, going back to the MLB, that's absolutely ludicrous.
That's
I think Kyler's going to have a good comeback here, and hopefully he can land in the right spot.
No, yeah, I agree with Perry here. I think the biggest thing for Kyler is just getting a change of scenery, an environment where he could put his head down and actually play winning football. I just think there's way too much dysfunction in Arizona around Kyler, and obviously they didn't have the team around him to even make a playoff push. So I think the biggest thing is getting his mind right, getting in good shape, and hopefully he doesn't go to the Jets.
Yeah. Me and Ryan actually met Kyler Murray, and I'm gonna tell you one thing right now. He's a bigger guy than he.
He's still taller than you, bro.
Yeah. Well, he's a big guy. So he is taller than me. Yeah, but and Kyler Murray, great guy. I actually was talking to him, and he told me he's ready to ball. So I'm gonna tell you right now, I expect great things out of Kyler. Oh, I little freeze there. I expect great things out of Kyler. And I think he's going to continue to ball somewhere. I think he should go to the Miami Dolphins. I think he would ball out there with the best run game in the NFL. I think
that would be really cool. Actually, Kyler in a Dolphins uniform. I'm not gonna lie. Like Kyler and A-Chain, like you can't tell me that's not toughy, right?
Bro, at this point, Miami needs to get a QB over the height of 6'1". I can't do it with these guys that can't see over the linemen. So I don't think Kyler's a great fit over here.
But imagine the Dolphins sign him and you get to post on your Instagram your pick with Kyler and be like, yo, we finna ball in Miami, bruh.
Okay, that would be the highlight of the signing, but I think he would get into a lot of trouble in the clubs down here in Miami.
You think he'd be at the strip club with A-Chain?
No,
after
but
the
you
game?
gotta
No.
realize Kyler's more of a war zone guy than
Really.
a club guy.
Yeah, that's true.
We're
It-
bringing
it's-
back.
it-
I mean,
it's
the
really
war
it's
zone,
really a
the war
shame
zone
that
will go with
Tyreek
him
is
wherever he
gone.
goes.
Now that Tyreek is gone, they can't like hop on stream and stuff. So I think he'll be in a lot better spirits in terms of football.
Yeah,
That
but
is true.
Moving on here next, a lot of buzz with Max Crosby. Trade reportedly could be happening this week. Where do you guys think he's going to land?
Yeah, I mean, biasly, I'd want him to go to the Bengals, but that's not where I think he's going to land because our front office is dog shit. And I also don't know what
At least
we
you're
trade
honest,
for.
bro.
So do you guys got any ideas here where you think he's going to go?
I mean, I think I said it in the last one, but I think the Bears is a really good landing spot for Max Crosby. Obviously, a great team, accomplished a lot this year, and had some holes on their defensive line. Especially obviously their secondary got a ton of interceptions, but I think Max Crosby can be an absolute game wrecker in Chicago and really take that team to maybe even a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, and I think that Max Crosby would kind of fit in perfectly to that Chicago Bears, kind of philosophy and that hunger they have. Those fans care so much. I feel like Max Crosby cares a lot about the game, and being in Vegas it seemed like it has taken away kind of his love. He still balls out every week, tries his hardest, even though the Raiders are like 2-12. And I think that if he's able to go into Chicago, he can be a game wrecker, and I think he'd be a fan favorite down in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, all his teammates say is how great Max Crosby is, how professional he is, one of the greatest teammates out there, and obviously he gives his all on the field as well. So definitely want him to go to a contender.
Yeah. I agree with you guys. I think the Bears would be a good pick. But speaking of giving it your all, last NFL news here, T. Higgins was seen posted up with Kevin Durant entering a club with approximately 50 absolute dimes. This video was anything like I've ever seen. I've never seen a player with this much aura, with this much charisma, with this much riz. It was absolutely incredible. He was walking into this club like it was nobody's business. Just women around him left and right. I've never seen anything like this. And after watching this video, I slammed $1,000 T. Higgins over 1,000 yards receiving next year and 10+ touchdowns. I'm telling you that right now. You can come back to this. I'm telling you, T. Higgins is a lock to ball next season.
I think that you're tripping a little bit here and taking this out of context. I think this is more concerning than
I don't
encouraging. I mean, this is kind of showing that T's not locked in right now, and
right, he was with KD.
I mean, is KD's on his burner, like shredding all his teammates. I mean, I just don't think this is a good look for T personally. And, I just think that you're being.
I mean, you got other guys at this point throwing with quarterbacks and getting some offseason work in. And also, I wanted to add that you said 50 baddies. If it's on your scale, there's probably about 15 actual baddies in the crowd. So,
yeah.
If it was on my scale.
Yeah.
So I have a higher scale for who a baddie.
No, you said there's 50.
You said
there's 50.
You said there's 50. There's actually 15.
You said there's 50.
According
that means
to
that
my
there
scale,
probably was.
50. Yeah, because according to your scale.
Your scale is 50.
So I have a higher rating for if a girl's a baddie. You're saying?
Yeah, you have lower standards.
Okay. Well, let's.
And you're trying to juice up your guy T. Higgins, obviously.
Yeah.
So
let's just end it off with Kevin Durant and T. Why didn't y'all invite me, bro?
I mean, also, like, you got to think about it. Like, so many receivers were just, putting in work in the offseason, one of my buddies, was thrown with CJ Stroud and Bryce Young last summer, just put in the work, my boy Trey. So,
shout out Trey, man.
Yeah, I mean,
shout out to my boy,
I mean, I think Puka's been really active at many events. He's been drinking a lot of alcohol. I don't love to see that from Puka as well. So
yeah,
definitely don't love when we see these guys going too hard on the off season. Let's get into the MLB now. I have a question for you. So the WBC exhibitions, they've been playing against some of these MLB teams in spring training. I'm gonna direct this one to Perry. In terms of Team USA, what hitter on the team is going to have the biggest impact in the tournament? Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I think that this hitter's, he's gonna show out. He's gonna show out and play for our country. He's gonna represent us well, and he's gonna, make some big swings and big moments. And I think the guy that's gonna be able to kind of make a splash in the WBC will be Mike Trout. I think that he's really gonna be dialed in and ready to go.
I'll stop you right there. He's not in the tournament. He's not on the team. Yeah, so I'll take this one over. I think the guy that's going to make the biggest difference in the WBC and hopefully take one home after losing to Japan is going to be Bobby Witt Jr. This guy's an absolute stud, and with a team with Judge, Schwarber, Harper, all those guys, he's got a lot of lineup protection, obviously. Bobby Witt is my pick.
Yeah. I'd personally go with Mike Trout as well, but no, I could see the confusion there. Mike Trout, big USA guy.
I mean, to be fair, he should be on the team. It's kind of
yeah, that is to be fair as well. But classic confusion there.
But going into other news that actually came out today, Jurickson Profar got popped for PEDs again, and he's suspended for the whole season, 162 games. This also means that he's not going to receive his $15 million contract. Just crazy for this to happen in back-to-back seasons. What do you think about this, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, this is just extremely disappointing. Obviously, a guy of Profar had a great season before he got popped last year, and then he gets popped again this year. It makes you think that 2024 season where he had 24 homers and almost 90 RBIs, best season of his career, he was also taking PEDs. So that's obviously it might have helped him get that contract in Atlanta, but definitely not what you want to see from MLB players going back to the roids.
It's not a good look for him.
I would love to see the roid rage on him after he found out he's not getting the 15 mil. Because if he's this addicted to the PEDs, the roid rage has got to be lethal. Let's hope there's no people around him.
Hoping he doesn't have a wife.
I was gonna go there as well. Let's hope let's hope women and children were not in the area there. Anyway, I feel like I say this every pod, but let's get into my favorite sport, golf, baby. Golf. We've only got about one thing here. Tiger, he is not denying the possibility of playing in the Masters. He's really changed his tune on this as of recently. I like to think it's maybe because I started doubting him and cooking him after I made that joke about him not being able to get behind the wheel. And now all of a sudden he wants to play in the Masters. So what do you guys think about Tiger now possibly playing in the Masters?
Yeah, I think this is really encouraging. I'm super happy to hear that he's not leaving this out. I'd love to see him play in the Masters. I just think it's going to be important for him to kind of get a good body of work going into this, staying healthy. The key for him really at this stage in his career and at his age is staying healthy. And, a big part of that is, like Lucas said, just monitoring, being locked in behind the wheel, not putting himself in those bad situations. I think that if he's able to play in the Masters, some magic could happen this year.
Yeah, I mean, just to add to that, all jokes aside, Tiger
magic, and we ain't talking AIDS.
Yeah, obviously it's a very small possibility still. He hasn't confirmed anything, but Tiger at Augusta is one of the most legendary combinations. Obviously, so many moments there, and would just bring so many more eyes to the sport. So I think it would be sick if Tiger was obviously playing this year.
I agree. Yeah. I think it'd be sick. He wouldn't win it, but
who is going to win the 2026 Masters?
Yeah, a lot of people have been asking me who's going to win the Masters, bro. And I tell him the same thing over and over. There's a guy, he's the most underrated guy on the tour. He's balling out not only in the PGA, but in the TGL. Whether it's a full course, it's a course on an animated screen. This guy's balling. He just hit a hole in one on it. He was celebrating with Tiger, the Masters king himself. I think the guy who's going to win the Masters is none other than Tom Kim, baby. Tom Kim.
No, I mean, that would be crazy. I don't see it happening though, bro.
They call him Tom Sim.
They call him Tom Kimchi.
All right, rounding it off with a question, Perry. You want to ask this one? I know you came up with this.
I thought we had. Did we have NBA or no?
Oh, Luke
my God,
breezed over NBA here. Wow, big development there. So we're getting into NBA here. Obviously, the MVP race is in full steam here. And there's a lot of talk about this 65-game rule. Obviously, you have to play a minimum of 65 games to qualify for awards like the MVP, all NBA teams, Rookie of the Year, stuff like that. Perry, do you think this is a good rule for the NBA, or do you think they should abolish it?
Yeah, I mean, I want to get on here and talk about this. I think that this 65-game rule is an absolute atrocity to the NBA. I think that we're gonna see top candidates, be popping out left and right with injuries. I mean, 65 out of the 82 games. I mean, that means you're playing. You're missing maybe a few weeks. I think that this is a joke. That you got to be healthy for pretty much the whole season to be qualifying for awards at this point. I mean, you look down the list, you have SGA, Jokic, potentially falling out of the MVP race, and these are the main two candidates.
Yeah, Luka too.
And Luka as well. I mean, these guys are probably going to be playing around 60 games, maybe mid 50s. I think that they need to lower this from 65 to about 50 games. I think this is a really bad look for the NBA because, we could even see Cade Cunningham winning an MVP this year if these top guys are dropping off, and because he could be the only one eligible. And, I just think it's a really bad rule and that they need to make an adjustment here. Adam Silver, I mean, he's been under a little bit of fire recently. And, I think he needs to make a change here.
Yeah, I completely agree. Obviously, you outlined it, but I think all of the players, Shea, Jokic, Doncic, they're all under. They only have less than 10 games to miss the rest of the season.
Yeah, Jokic is down to like one game. He's pretty much gone.
Cade pretty much locks it up if any of those guys, if all of those guys miss more than 65 games.
Yeah, it's horrible. Also Lapuki. I mean,
yeah. Let's skip this second NBA question and let's go into this one right here. Do you guys think at this point that the MLB and the NHL is better than the product we're getting with the NBA?
Yeah, I want to say something here. I think that the NHL is a lot better than the NBA at this point. I mean, I don't think this is a hot take at all. Really, you watch hockey. There's some excitement going on in the NBA. You got 82 games. Just back to backs. It just feels like there's not a lot of energy going on in the NBA right now. The stars aren't really generating. I mean, you look SGA. Just the free throw merchant. Jokic. Doesn't bring a lot of firepower. The stars in the NBA right now aren't really getting it done. I feel like from a ratings perspective, and hockey, nothing's better than playoff hockey. I mean, the atmosphere in these arenas is just absolutely electric, and the playoff race coming down to a close finish here towards the end of the season here in the NHL, and I think that the NHL right now is just a lot better than the NBA and much more enjoyable to watch as a fan.
Yeah, I agree. The NHL is on fire right now, especially coming off that USA men's hockey win. And I've really been enjoying it. And I think that, like how Perry was saying, the NBA has just felt stale. The NBA is kind of like,
the NBA, you're not going to flip on a random game and watch it from start to finish. But in the NHL, anything could happen. Doesn't matter who's playing. A lot of excitement. I agree, around it.
Yeah. The NBA,
also my Ducks are going to be making that late playoff push, and right now they're in, and can't wait for some playoff hockey in Anaheim.
I would even say the NBA is better, or the MLB is better than the NBA right now as well.
We'll have to wait and see, but
I just think there's a lot more excitement around even the WBC. The stars are great. We got Judge, Shohei, Paul Skeens, all these young stars in pretty big cities as well. So I think the NBA is also in a worse spot than the MLB.
I agree. And that leads us to our last and final segment here. Comments of the week, man. Fan favorite comments of the week. The fans were begging us to bring this back. And so we've got a couple questions that we're going to read off here. I can start. I've got the first one here. This one kind of went big. I got 128 likes in the comments, and Danny Mart 1313 said, Herbert remains undefeated in hypotheticals. I'd have to agree with Danny here. Herbert's always getting these what ifs. What if you had Tyreek Hill? If you had a better O line?
Yeah, I'm gonna cut you off there. I can't hear you speak anymore, bro. Danny, bro, just please unfollow, unsubscribe, whatever
No,
it is. I don't want you as a viewer.
I do, bro.
Just negative ball knowledge from you, Danny.
I want Danny.
This is a joke. This is a joke of what you're saying here. I mean, you're talking about hypotheticals. This guy is the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. He has put up some of the most dominant numbers as a starting quarterback in his first 5 seasons. And I mean, everybody's going off of a few playoff games. And like I've said, Herbert's going to be showing up. He's going to have some pieces coming in. And he's got a new offensive coordinator, Mike McDaniel. We're going to build around him, get that offensive line a little more stable, and I believe that Herbert, is going to be proving why these hypothetical what ifs are going to be all fulfilled, and that he is going to be making a deep run in the playoffs. And Danny, you're going to be watching some greatness happen down in Los Angeles.
You just tried disapproving the fact that he said that Herbert's all hypotheticals with more hypotheticals, bro. You literally made the argument that
I stated that
he stated put up a good 5 years.
I stated the offensive rookie of the year and the good 5 years of stats, and I mean I think Danny, bro, you just need to go.
He had a good rookie year, but after that,
delete your profile, bro.
All right, man. Who's got the next question?
Yeah, I got the last one. I think this is a good one to end on here. User 42739502007 says, "Please take Mustache Bum off the pod. He's an atrocity to the show."
Okay, I don't. Why are we actually reading this comment, bro? No.
It was a good comment,
bro. This is not a good comment, bro. I know
what's wrong with the comment,
bro? No, whoever wrote that
bro.
comment,
I've been feeling the same thing that this user is saying, bro.
In all seriousness, though, like what is wrong with the comment? Is it not? Is it like false information? It's completely
bro. You're
true.
Sitting here on the podcast with a bow tie and a damn beret, bro. Like,
yes, bro. Like, what is going on?
And I'm dressed, and I'm dressed. For they say, dress for the job you want, right?
You should say dress to impress, bro. Like, speak some English, bro.
So you want to be like freaking Ebenezer Scrooge.
So you want to be like the guy giving out soap at Javier.
This is drip, bro. This is drip, bro. Everybody knows this shit is mad drip, dude. Like, you're never gonna see this shit like on ESPN, bro, because they're afraid to rock this level, bro. And that's just what I'm gonna say right now, bro. I'm not correct. I'm just early, and that's what you're gonna find out after a lot of my takes end up coming true, bro. That's all I gotta say.
You're not correct. You're just early.
Yep.
Okay.
Do we got one more? Is that it?
No, that's it.
That's
Perry
it.
couldn't find one.
Perry's phone died. All right. Anyway, thank you guys for watching the show, man. Next week's episode is going to be cinema because free agency NFL opens up on Wednesday. So there's going to be a million guys on different teams. The Bengals will probably be ranked as the number 1 team in the NFL after Wednesday. So,
bro, you got to stop yapping, bro.
Tyreek Hill sign with the Chargers by the time then the next episode?
I mean, I want to be surprised.
The Chiefs.
Not the Chiefs, bro.
All right.
Salute.